Hi and welcome back to the ANS Way. Today's going to be a bit different because I am going to give you a bit of an update on life in general without Anne. You get a lot of that from Anton and not so much from me, probably because I'm less of a person that naturally narrates life and pretty much goes about his day from the moment he wakes up, narrating his activities. I thought I would do an update for you guys because it's been a while and you've been getting the updates from Anne on the house, so let's just see how this goes. So first of all, my first major thing is that I've been traveling for work. I think I've posted some of the pictures up on our Instagram, and this is the first time I've traveled properly since the pandemic. So I was away for about 2 weeks. I travelled from Vegas through London to Copenhagen for one of our biggest conferences in Europe. I was there for about a week, went from there into London, spent a night in London where I got to see my mum and dad, which was really nice, and I'm sure that made my mum happy to see me for one evening. And they met me in Heathrow, which was really lovely of them. I then travelled from London to Phoenix, where we had this training camp for the company. I was there for another 3 or 4 nights in Phoenix before I finally came back to Vegas. And what I would say is, it's really strange. When this channel started, it was called Heels in Business back then, and the whole point of this channel was for me to share my business travel. I was traveling literally every week internationally. I was doing a lot of long haul flights, and that was my life for many years. And I can honestly say 2 weeks after a long rest, and it's been difficult, I would honestly say that 2 weeks of travel, as great as it was, and for things to start to feel normal again and to see friends, colleagues that I hadn't seen in years, that was amazing and it was great. But boy, did my body struggle. I would admit it was a struggle, and it took me about a week to readjust back in Vegas after that trip. So I'm not sure how, as much as I love traveling and I would like to get back to some travel, I'm a bit tentative now about it. And I also think for me and Anne, because I do like the life that we live here in Vegas, the weather, the lifestyle, I'm thinking the need to travel isn't as much now. And that must have been it. Anne always said to me about the fact that he really needed to get out of the UK, how depressing it was, the weather, and I would really minimize pretty much most of what he would say. Oh, it's not that bad. The UK isn't as bad as you're making out. Yeah, because I was traveling all the time and I was experiencing good weather and places, and I was occupying myself. Now that I have a good place here, it's beautiful, the Red Rock Mountains, the lifestyle, I don't even think I want to travel as much. So I still want to see places, but the need for me to travel for work has definitely gone away, which in itself is very interesting for me personally. In terms of our other updates, as you know, Anne and I have been sharing about our Woodside journey and our home build, which we were really looking forward to, in the sense of moving out of the rental that we're in, finally being in our own home and just having our own space. This house that we have at the moment, fantastic location, but we don't love it. It's not our own home. And even when you want to do things, I'm really into cleaning. I'm a bit weird like that. I get a lot of satisfaction out of cleaning at home. It doesn't feel the same when it's not your home. And I really was looking forward to moving into Woodside, which, when I look at the month we're in, we're almost at the end of May now. We should have been moved in about now. We should be in the process of moving, and all the delays to Woodside has definitely kind of spoiled this moment for us, and the not knowing. Yeah, it's just not a nice moment to be in. Ant has been super on it. So the one thing about Ant, which I very much appreciate, is the fact that he's constantly over there. He has a really good relationship with the sales guy over there as well. So he's communicating enough for us to extract what we can out of Woodside. The problem is, despite all of that, and that's with Ant's effort, that we still don't know when that house is going to be ready. And this is the difficulty for us now, in the sense of, we only picked that home. That home was never our dream home. We've said that a few times. We love West Summerlin, we love the area that it's in, but that home was never the home. We picked that home because of the timeline, because it worked out with when this rental was up. As you know, in the other videos, Ant's mentioned the owner wants the house back. He wants to sell it. So now we really do need to get out of this house, or we need to think about another place that we need to move into in the meantime, all whilst not knowing when our house, which should have been built by now with dry walls, should have been done, and we should have just been finalising all of that. So that at the moment has put us in a situation of trying to work out, do we stick it out with Woodside? Are we looking into other options? Do we go into rental? And yeah, it's just not a great moment for us, I would say. In terms of Woodside, for me at the moment, even though their sales guy, I honestly believe he is trying his best, and it's not his fault about what's happening in the background in terms of the logistics, getting drywall people in. And it's ultimately, I'm guessing, not his choice which houses they choose to drywall. And that's the bit that's really annoying me at the moment, is the fact that there's one thing to say that you don't have people in to do the drywall, but then don't drywall other houses. So what we're seeing there is the fact that you can clearly see other homes that started after ours, which have now passed ours and look completed in comparison to ours, and they are drywalling those homes. So to me, the only thing I can think is, okay, well, you have our money, and that's fine, and that's not a problem for you, and you're picking which homes you choose to drywall, because if you can't drywall, why are there houses that are being done? And that's the problem I have today. And a part of me just feels, do they even really deserve the business if they're not going to be completely honest with you? And the main thing for me is, I would just prefer if they just communicated as best as they can. I think it's just how they're going about the communication, when they know, especially in our case, we're constantly at that site, so we can see what they're choosing to do with the other houses. At least explain that rationale to us. Because of that, we have been looking into other options, because we really don't know when that house is going to complete. We would like to think it is sometime in July at the moment, but we really don't know. So we have been looking into other options in terms of other homes. So in West Summerlin, we have been looking at the Tri-Pointes, the Overlook and Kings Canyon. There is a particular home that I really, really like there. And in fact, we met a couple out there, some people that have been watching our YouTube channel met us as we were looking at a lot, which was quite funny and cool. So hi if you're watching this video. So we're looking at that. We also had a look into other areas. So this is the funny thing. Anyone that's been watching this channel will know that ever since I moved to Vegas, I fell in love with Summerlin. Not only Summerlin, Summerlin West in particular. And I was very adamant that we had to rent, live and buy in this area by Red Rock, and tried to get me to go to other places. I really just wasn't keen. We looked in Inspirada in Henderson, Anthem. We also looked, I think, at Mesa Ridge. There was Terra Luna, so Tri-Point were building down there. We've looked in Sky Canyon. Ant's definitely always been a lot more open to where we move in terms of getting the right house was far more important for him than necessarily the location. Whereas for me, I wanted a balance of both. Location has always been super important for me, and there was just one location that I was willing to live in. Now, because of this, I have become a bit more open in the fact that we have started to venture out, to the point that yesterday we did look at a Tri-Point community that I can only describe as in the middle of nowhere. It's pretty much south of the Strip, south of the airport, and it's latitude if you want to look it up, so latitude Tri-Point. And when we got there, I asked the sales lady, where are we? And she paused and she said, yeah, there's not much going on here. This is kind of the southwest. okay. And there's literally nothing there. It's Tri-Point building in this area of Silverado, but the house. Okay, so at this particular place, they are selling the model home, and all in, I think it's 814,000. Ant will correct me if that's wrong, but for the model home, everything all in, and honestly, the home is amazing. And actually, we should, if we have some videos, we'll share. It is a really lovely home. The courtyard as you walk in, it's got a really nice den, the entrance hall to the house, but it's the location. And we really did think, oh, could we make this work? But that is so far removed from Summerlin that I think we've settled on the fact that that's probably not it. But because of that, we have decided to look into other places. So we looked back in Inspirada, consequently where we started our journey. So when we first landed in Vegas, literally the second day, Ant's pretty much, right, let's go and look at homes. So where do we go? Inspirada in Henderson, we go to Tri-Point, and that's where we first had a look at Tri-Point homes, and we absolutely loved them. Albeit I was very, very delirious at the time. I couldn't really digest it, but we went back there, and they do have homes available. They're still building. They're pretty much towards the end of their phases now. And they do have some lovely homes with amazing views over Inspirada. And definitely after going to this really random location the day before, Inspirada is great, and I'm definitely looking at it with different eyes now. Whilst I love West Summerlin, I'm now far more open. There are lots of different communities, so this is something we've probably not perhaps said enough in our videos. There are lots of different places you can choose to live in Vegas, lots of master plan communities, whether it's Sky Canyon, Summerlin, in Henderson, in the Southwest. So if you do like that type of manufactured feel with the parks, the trails, lots of communities that offer that. There's just something a bit more special about Summerlin in my opinion. But we are definitely looking into other options. Where we're at currently is, we don't know. Both of us left Inspirada today not really knowing what to do, and we still want to give Woodside a chance. We still want to see what Woodside say. Ant is due to speak to them tomorrow to figure out what's going on. We will see, but at the same time, Ant's always on it with things like that. He's always looking into options and seeing what's better for us. So whilst we will continue to see what's going to happen with Woodside, we are keeping our options open, and I am definitely now more open to looking into other places. And it's just about balancing the price, the home, location. So all I can say is just watch this space, because currently neither Ant or I know where we're going to end up. But let's see. Anyway, so I'm going to end my catch up there today. I hope in the next few weeks we are closer to knowing where we're going to end up. I have to say, doing this travel and work is not the nicest of situations. I think I'm still feeling jet lagged. This is how I used to get over jet lag in a few days, or not really suffer with jet lag. So I'm definitely suffering with a lot more tiredness at the moment, and work is a lot more consuming. So having this on top of that, and spending the weekends having to look at houses and think about what options, what's right, is definitely not the ideal situation. But hey ho, first world problems. I can't really complain. Anyway, this is my first catch up with just me, I think. I don't know if I've ever done one of these before, but let me know what you think. I know you love the rants with Ant, but let me know what you think below. Don't forget to subscribe, like this video if you do. Let me know if you prefer these over Ant's videos, and comment below. Thanks for watching.